Oh, I'm alone again. Oh no. Star's out today, but that's okay. You got me, Serafina, your I'm not gonna say better host, but let's say second tier host. So, hi, welcome to the weekly community live stream. Today we got some news, we got some tier marker discussions, and of course, everyone's favorite, and maybe the only reason why you're tuning in, I hope not, prizing! All right, our prizes this time around, you have two ways of winning. One, no purchase necessary. Go into the game and say the secret phrase, which is roll the dice. Roll the dice like D&D or craps, which we don't promote in our game, but we do promote D&D because it's cool. Roll the dice is the secret phrase, or you can make a single purchase in the store or purchase a bunch of things. Any purchase, doesn't matter. That's how you enter into the prize. We will be drawing at 4:15 and 4:45, so in about 15 minutes and in about 45 minutes. So stay tuned for that. The prizes this time around, super exciting, since we are all water themed. The end of summer, you want to still keep yourself cool. Of course, it's still 100 degrees in Texas, where we are. First prize is wood duck and ornate umbrella. Ornate tile hot tub and ornate wooden hot tub. Double hot tub. And then we also have a 3 fountain set. That's the I never know how to pronounce these. Maybe I should practice before I do this. Cinerius and Isabeline, and this one's the hardest to pronounce. Carved. Did I say that right? Carved. Fountains. The fountain set. Another prize is the longboat water decoration with the ornate post and rope water fence set. And then we also have a watermill village house. So pretty. I love that one. And finally, the prize that I'm sure you're all looking forward to, a player-owned town village water lot property deed. Ooh, yes. And that's going to be a super awesome prize, especially because now player-owned town governors can place water lot markers in the middle of the water, like not on the shore. That's one of the new things in R57, which we will get to in a bit. All right, speaking of water, we are having our weekend flash sale with, our weekend sales that started today and go through the weekend. All things water. I don't know why I did that accent, but I'm gonna say water like that from now on. Water. Why did we make the theme water? Well, like I said, the full water lots, the water lots that you can now put in the middle of the water in the ocean, in rivers and lakes and streams. Not streams, probably too small. If it fits, then you can probably put a water lot there. So this sale includes all water homes, water decos, water themed decos, e.g. the umbrella, and water.org items for charity. So get on it, get in the store. Now, of course, you probably notice that almost everything is on sale in the store right now. And why is that? we are starting to track towards our R57 stretch goals. Yes! So, like last month, we are going to make every Friday 12-hour sale. And during that time, if you pledge $5 or more, or you're part of the rewards program, your contribution will track towards the R57 stretch goals, and you will get those stretch goal rewards that we meet in a later release. Probably R60, we're not 100% sure, but what are the R57 stretch goals? Well, they are dungeon themed. Ooh. As a lot of you know, we put our sample dungeons in the game. You have your dungeon entrances. Now we have our sample dungeons. And by the end of Q4, we expect to have the actual player-made dungeons in, so you can lock your friends away and throw away the key if you're that kind of person. Or you can just, have fun in your dungeon. Anyway, our 57 stretch goal rewards are dungeon themed. We have already reached our $10,000 stretch goal. Round of applause. And that one was the roll dice emote. Roll dice emote in honor of Dungeons and Dragons, of course. $25,000 is the flame trap decoration, which will not cause damage, but it'll look really cool. You can set your friends on fire, as all good friends do. And $35,000 is the candle helm. Not sure what that's going to look like, but it's going to be pretty cool. $50,000 is the spike trap and arrow trap decorations. Think Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, this kind of thing. Or was it? It was one of those where it goes like this. Something like that. Also not going to cause any damage. $65,000 is the unique dungeon entrance eternal pattern. So it's another one. We already have a few that are in the store and one that's craftable. This is going to be a completely unique one. Daigoji guy just corrected me. It was Temple of Doom. I should have known that. $80,000 is torture set. I know some people who are going to be very excited about this. The torture chair, torture table, and everyone's favorite, the rack. Yay! Stretch out your friends. We're all a little sick in the head, aren't we? $90,000 is the key-themed weapon set. Sword, mace, and pole arm. As someone who is a big fan of Kingdom Hearts, I'm super excited about that. So please, can we get that? Please, 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 please. And the $100,000 stretch goal is a unique dungeon room blueprint. So when we have the dungeons in at the end, we are going to have a completely unique one for this particular stretch goal. So very exciting. Remember, $5 or more, or if you sign up for the rewards program and you don't cancel, you will get the stretch goal rewards for each consecutive release. So get on that. And you, of course, get a lot of other cool stuff like potions, and we just put out the 3-month one, which was a special title, and lots of other goodies. Check it out. All right. So, like I mentioned, player-made dungeons. If you have some people, some of your friends or enemies who are trying to lure you into interacting with this magical tome or magical mirror or like lunar rift looking thing or an archway looking thing. Yeah, they're trying to lure you into their dungeon, which went live in R57. The player-made dungeons feature will be live in Q4. That's our plan. So it's going to be earlier than episode 2. We have a question. Will we be able to make a custom dungeon, then create a blueprint from it when done, then sell the blueprints? That's an excellent question. You should probably ask that, Christ Palad, on the comments of the R57 live stream, which is happening next week. So please ask that there, because Darkstar or Chris is probably better equipped to answering that. You don't want me to answer that, because I'll probably say no, but I don't make those kinds of decisions. So ask that during the live stream. Anyway, we have the different types that are on the store, and including a Unity asset pack with each. And then we also have the craftable version, which is a tomb and a 50-point dungeon. So you don't have to use your paycheck to buy a dungeon to lure your friends in and lock them in for the rest of their mortal days. You can just craft one like a regular old psychopath. Okay, that's the dungeons, and we are very close to the prizening. Just a reminder, you can go in game and type roll the dice, roll, ROLL, the dice, DICE. Be careful with spelling. It's not roll like role play, and it's not dice like he dies. Dice. Okay. So you have 3 minutes until the first prizening, or you can go make a purchase of any dollar amount. I personally highly recommend going to take advantage of some of the sales and check out the die. Not those kinds of die. I can't read your name because it's too colorful and too far away and my eyes are bad. DICE. Roll the dice. But I was going to say I highly recommend going and picking up those die mega packs that we just put on the store. They are a lot of the different magical kinds of dies, which now you can apply to some furniture, which is one of the many new features of R57 that went live yesterday. So if you haven't patched, you need to right now, because we have a ton of cool new stuff in R57. Daigoji Guy says die mega packs, brilliance. I agree. Now I want to say the super mega pack has 336 different items in it. 336. And right now it's on sale for, I don't even know, normal price is $129, $149, I don't remember. But it's on super sale now. And it comes with 336 different items. That is maybe our biggest pack yet. I'm very proud of it. Anyway, I need to stop talking about dyes because I get way too excited about dyeing furniture and putting it in my really cool rainbow house that I have going on. All right, it's very close to the prizening. I'm just killing time to the prizening because I don't want to get on a roll on R57 yet. But anyway, R57 launched yesterday. We have a new creature in the store, which I think we're going to have to put a pin in for a second because I just saw that it's 4:15, means the first of the prizening drawings. It only happens twice in a community live stream. There's somebody at the door. I wonder who it could be. Well, come on in, friend. Wow, it's my friend, a robot. It's the prisoning bot, and he has come. I'm sorry. It has come. I don't recognize them as sentient beings, to give us the names of the first prisoning winners. Prisoning bot, could you put yourself a little more in front of me? Prisoning bot, can you put yourself a little more in front of me?
I don't think so.
Okay. Prisoning bot, turn. Turn. All right. I just don't want to face away from camera because that's really, all right. Okay. See, robots are really second-class citizens in my mind. All right. All right, you're making it worse, President Bot. Okay, the wood duck and ornate umbrella go to Armelian Visage. You've won a prize. The ornate tile hot tub and ornate wooden hot tub go to Brighton Rock. Brighton Rock, you won a prize. The 3 fountain set goes to Shale Hinnick. You won a prize. The longboat water decoration and ornate post and rope deco set go to EVL. And the Watermill Village Home goes to Warrior B. Patrick. And the Play Your Own Town Village Water Lot deed goes to Yoska Ludari. Woo! Get out of here! Get out of here, you hunk of metal and plastic, and yeah, you think you're better than us? Oh. Oh. I'm sorry. You just can't find good help these days. All right. Anyway, R57, we have some new creatures. The burned skeleton creatures. I think they're male and female skeletons. I'm not like 100% sure on the physiology, but judging by the hip bones, there is one that is female. We have, as I have said a million times, and will keep saying because I love it, dyeable decorations, banners, banners, canvas furniture, the craftable canvas furniture, and then fine white and gold furniture and the fine red furniture. Check them out in my house in Veritas Sanctuary if you want to see a sample. Okay, the blue roses, that's another thing. That's kind of my thing, blue roses. They are in the game along with some other different colored roses, which you can get off of florists in a couple different scenes. We have done tons of bug fixing, including the infamous or loved naked deck swap bug, the charged attack versus inactive bug. Some creatures were not summonable after they were tamed. The duck combos, looting bodies underwater bugs, and many more. Yay! And we are continuing that as part of our big quality of life improvements, which includes bug fixes. We have also added the hide helm option, if you so choose, and have made some boss loot improvements. The puzzle box is in. It's not just in, it functions as a puzzle. It has bested me only once. It's bested me more than once, I'll be honest. Full water lots, also super, super exciting. That means there's more space to put water homes for your play your own towns. The ornate pipe organ, Phantom of the Opera role play that I'm about to do, and yes, of course, it's going to be gender swapped. I will be Phantom, and I need Kristen. Kristen? No, Christopher. No, that's not going to be right. And then we have the R54 Tropical / Island live stream rewards. Very cool, including Rainbow. That's my new favorite emote. The R55 Lord British live stream items, including the fabulous Lord British telescope, which is a great addition to any lot, any town. We have some more stretch goal items in the stretch goal store. That includes horse masks. So you can be a really weird kind of person and run around in different horse faces, because that's normal. And if you're super weird, you can get a barn, which, by the way, is so precious. And it is a beautiful red barn. I love it. If you're really weird, get your friends to all wear the different horse masks, go in the barn, and play horsey. We're not going to judge you. Just, it'll be cool. And of course, those items go towards our stretch goal of mounts. That's right. You're going to be able to ridey things. Ridey some things around the world if we meet that stretch goal. We have made the virtue and companion gear tradable, which means you can salvage it and you can place it and you can give it to your friends and swap and share. So that's cool. The dungeon entrances and the example dungeons are in. We have some more side quests like the hospital gown and a ring bell and palm punch emotes. And of course, a little bit of scene polish. It's just a little like flavor thing. Now NPCs that don't have specific conversations or names will say, I don't talk to Outlanders. Before they said, I don't have a name, which is weird. So now they say, I don't talk to Outlanders. They're racist, okay? So you don't even want to talk to those NPCs necessarily. We have also made a rainy weather polish. So when it's raining, it looks a little bit more natural, which I think is quite a nice touch and very beautiful. Lost Vale access frequency has increased. It's now 11 hours instead of what it was before. And if you finish the Lost Vale first time, you get Crystal Ball. And you can place it as a deco. And when Lost Vale is open, it will tell you in a visual representation, which is really beautiful. And then the crystal ball, otherwise, it's just a cool deco to have. I think it's cool. More quality of life improvements. We have global banks. Yes, so you don't have to run from hither to thither to bring stuff if it's in different banks. Health and focus bar polish when you get hit, or as you heal, or as you use focus and gain focus back. There's a little bit of a color thingy change so you can see it a little better. We have compacted the loot window and made the icons in it bigger so you can see what you're getting. The zone and last online info for your guilds, that UI. Recipes stack. All players, regardless of level, can now skip sieges. Yay! Because I suck at fighting things, and it makes me sad. Control points don't force you into them either, so you can run right through those passes. Roving encounters have a smaller radii, so you're not pulled in to these scary bandits and bears and dogs and stags and sometimes unicorns. NPC movement slowdown has been removed. So you're running around a crowded area like Central Brittany, and you're not bumping in to NPCs and getting slowed down by them anymore. So that's great. Some supply bundle content now shows when you open in group chat. Auto selection for crafted items has been added. Watering status tooltip, so you know when you watered your soil. And sales numbers for vendors. Is that right? Merchants. Vendors has increased to 256. So you can grab a big chunk of stuff. Yeah. All right. As many of you probably know, our physical goods have shipped and have arrived at your doorsteps in a beautiful, beautiful cardboard box with your address on it, delivered by your local mail carrier. The Amazon boxes should start selling in mid-September. I lost my place for a second. This is totally random and out of order, and I totally added it to the sheet and forgot to say it. But speaking of future things, of course, you know, we are starting to think about episode 2, and with that means there's going to be player-owned towns in the new land in episode 2, the yet to be mapped and named land. We started with 50 brand new pots, and we have sold 45 of them. That means there are only 5 reservations left. Now, the reservation means that you are reserved a spot on the overland for episode 2, whatever that land shall be named. Get on it. It's gonna go. And we are also almost sold out of the Nested Town upgrade to Overland in episode 2. We only have 11 of those left. Only 11. So get on it. Get in there. Be one of the first to claim your land in episode 2. All right. Projects that we are supporting. The Sota New Beginnings comic number 2 Kickstarter has begun. Check it out in our weekly update that we sent out via email. If you're on the mailing list, you can also check it out on shroudoftheavatar.com under projects that we are supporting, and you will see that Kickstarter for the Shroud of the Avatar comic number 2. Dragon Con is this weekend. Lord British is at Dragon Con, and there is going to be a meetup. Check out the forums for more information on that. The meetup, is tonight at 7 p.m. I'm guessing that's Eastern time. So it is in a couple hours. So if you don't know where it is, check out the forums. Try to be there. Lord British will be there in all his glory. September 3rd, Monday, is going to be our release dance party. And it's going to be DJ'd by DJ Darkstar, our very own DJ Darkstar. And finally, SodaCon is in October, right here in Austin, Texas. Get your tickets, come meet the devs, come meet Darkstar, and probably Lord British, and me, because I'm going to be there. I'm going to be the main guest. Sort of. Okay, that's it for news. We have our very own Sanio, aka Keith Quinn, who is going to talk to us about tier markers when he comes in. I think he's on his way. In the meantime, I'm going to look at Twitch, see if there are any questions. And there aren't. That's okay. Sanio's here. And I will be back with the prizing and not that stupid robot. Stupid robot.
All right. Hello. You get a sense of where I am and what's going on. My name is Keith Quinn. I go by Sanio on the forums. I am here today to talk about tier markers. Very exciting. I gotta figure out where my mouse is. There we go. One moment. Let me see if I can pick the right thing. Is it this? 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 Yay! All right. Okay, so I cannot see your questions. So every once in a while I will switch around and see what we have to talk about. So first I'm going to show off what some tier markers are. Now, we don't have levels in the game. We have something kind of close. We used to not have any display of levels at all. And what we have to help out, oops, I'm looking at the wrong thing. This is a tier marker. So when we say tiers, you can imagine, let's start with the concept of a tier 1 to 10 scale. We go over that, but let's start with tier 1 to 10. So tier 1 is the lowest challenge, tier 10 is the highest challenge. And in most of our outdoor scenes, the standard, the default enemies are somewhere in the tier 1 to tier 5 range. And then we'll have some special sections that are tougher than that, and maybe a few monsters that are like, tier 10 or even like, tier 12, 15 or higher, like say like a dragon or a phoenix. So we have tier markers in every adventure scene, and the tier markers are there to give you a hint as to the challenge level of that scene, and you would have to make the call on whether you thought it was appropriate for you or not. So you can see we have a number of skulls here in this tier marker, and the tier markers will be by all official entrances or exits of an adventure scene. So this we see there's 5 skulls, and if you remember, I talked about tier 1 to 5. So 2 are on the ground. We're going to dismiss those, and we can see that there are 3 skulls on the spike. So this is, in general, a tier 3 scene. That's what that means. Pretty simple. Tier markers are, like I said, both here inside the scene, and also I will go out of Novia, and we'll see that when I do exit into Novia, we'll see tier markers there as well, and I want you to see what those look like. Oops. Clicking things I shouldn't, apparently. So we can see, I was in the Sunless Barrens before, and outside the Sunless Barrens, we can see 3 skulls on spikes, which means it's tier 3 scene. So even before I go in, I have an indication of how tough the scene is, and I can decide for myself whether I'm in it's the proper range for me or not. So I'll give you the secret backstory of where tier markers came from, because older players may remember during our testing phases, our early days, before we even had Novia, when we only had Hidden Veil, I was also a player. I was a backer before I was a worker here. So as a backer back then, you would come out of Kingsport or Owl's Head or Braemar, and you'd walk around and you'd go into a scene, and the scenes were populated not with a plan that was similar to what the final result was, but in a way to give players a sampling of what we had available. So we wanted some, it was before I was here. So there were some low-level bad guys in the scene, high-level bad guys in the scene. It could have been undead and bandits and liches. It was about variety to give everyone a taste and to test all these different creatures and interactions that we had, and that was fine. But as a player, even though I recognized what they were doing, it was also frustrating for me to go into a new adventure area and encounter bad guys that were like way over my level. Sometimes I go in an area and maybe it was appropriate for me, and I'd go into another area, and then I'd just get slaughtered immediately, and I'd turn right instead of left, and then I'd get slaughtered by those guys, and it was very frustrating. So, in fact, when I came in to interview for this, that was one of the things I brought up, like what I thought about the game, and I pointed out some of the good points, but I also pointed out that that I felt that was a problem for players to not give them an understanding of what they're about to happen, what's about to happen to them, because I think predictability is important for players in any design. They need to know that if they use a spell in a certain way, it's going to have similar effects each time they use it. They need to know that if they go through a doorway, that it's going to be whatever's on the other side of the doorway is probably going to be the same thing each time, or if it's different, that they'll know why it's different. They can predict, and in that way they can decide how they want to play and how they want to approach things, and that's kind of the fun of it. But there was not enough predictability before. Anyway, jump ahead. I got hired and I was working here, and we had a conversation between several designers and programmers that was it had been brought up that it might be good in the UI. And when I say UI, if you can see to the top, you see how it says like Novia, and now in front of me we have the banner that lets us know we're about to enter Sunless Barrens. So the thought was that it'd be nice somewhere in the UI if we can indicate how tough the area was, but there was no automated process to do it. Even if we thought of a way to, it probably wouldn't be too tough to put like a number of skull images, for example, underneath the banner. It would all have to be manually done. And so I got it into my head that, man, what if we just put skulls on spikes by the entrances? And I actually kind of kept it to myself, and I just started doing it because I didn't want anyone to say, no, don't do it. Let's wait for this other way. So I actually just started doing it. And I liked it because it was an in-character way to do it. It was fictionally, I wasn't throwing anything in your face. I wasn't putting a big number, 2 or 3 or 5 on the screen. I was putting some skulls on spikes that I don't know if they were there put there by bad guys. I don't know, as a warning or as a bragging that they kill everyone here, or I don't know if it's like some group of adventurers before you got there just wanted to warn you as good guys. Be wary because this is a tough scene, so we're going to use this sort of universal symbolism of skulls on spikes. So I don't know how it got there, but it seemed like a nice, simple thing that could work with the fiction, and also for the players who picked up on this kind of an Easter egg of what it actually meant for each scene. And I also put it for those players who maybe did like the unknown quantity of not knowing what's inside that scene. I actually put it behind you as you spawned in. So when you came into a scene, it wasn't in front of you. You had to turn around and look behind you to see what the skull and the spikes were, if you even knew to look for it. And so that was kind of like a secret thing I had in there for like a couple of months, and I was kind of hoping it would take hold before anyone decided to question it or add too much extra to it. So that's kind of what happened. I was very happy about that. So after a while, it just kind of became understood that adventure scenes had these skulls on spikes, and players began to realize what they were, and I was pretty happy about that. And our team began to consider that it's just a good way to go. You know, it's not obtrusive. It's an easy way to add in and update if we need to. So we started putting it in all scenes, and then eventually we put it in Novia for that extra hint. It's not. We didn't want you to zone in to a scene and then decide if it was appropriate. Let's put it in Novia and in Hidden Vale, and you can decide before you even go into the scene if it was good for you. So this is a tier 3 scene, and like I said, we were really just noted tier 1 to 5. Although actually, if you go, some players may notice or remember that in tutorials, so after the Isle Storms, you go to the Battle of High Vale or Battle of Souls Bridge or Blood River. There's actually a spike with no skulls on it there. They're tier 0 scene, a little bit weaker than tier 1. I'll also point out that even though the siege is going on in Yonaford here, Yonaford is a town. It's not an adventure scene, so it does not have tier markers on it. It's not a tiered area. That's the general premise of tier markers. So I'm going to show you a few other tier markers. Most of them relate to new things that we've had changing. So first, we're going to go to the Hallowed Plains, and I'm going to fly over there. Oh, did I type that right? Okay. Hallowed Plains, where is that? It's around here somewhere. This. No, that's you. Hallowed Plains, I think. Yeah. So on the edge of this forest, the Hallowed Plains. So this is a tier 4 plus scene. So it's a little hard to see, but tier 4 plus, the plus is a new concept for us. And I'm going to explain that. Where is it's hard to see on here. When we go into the scene, you'll see a little bit better. But there's 4 skulls on the spike, 1 on the ground, and at the very top, it's hard to see, but there's a little ribbon up there. That ribbon means plus. Hello, friend. All right, so we're going to go into the scene, and we're going to see close up what this, what the tier marker looks like. So what a plus means is that, in this case, so it's tier 4 plus. So in general, this scene is tier 4. The first guys you meet, and the first half, and maybe even almost the whole scene is tier 4. But in the case of this particular scene, there is a fort in the back. We can actually see it over here. See the fort straight ahead of me, far in the distance? So that fort is actually 1 tier up. So the kobolds and skeletons that it might encounter in the kobold area and in the trenches over here, they are tier 4. But in the back area by that fort, those are tier 5. So plus means there is a section or group of bad guys that are a higher challenge than tier 4. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You just know that somewhere deeper in this map, there's a higher challenge. So I say a group of bad guys. If I just had 1 bad guy who was a higher tier, that is not significant enough for a plus. So if I just had, say, 1 boss in a back area, that doesn't make it 4+. Like if I have a dragon in the scene, that doesn't make it 4+. We got to have like a fort or like a whole quadrant, a valley that's a number of guys. One bad guy after another is a higher than normal tier, and that makes it plus. In this particular case, we actually have both the higher than normal tier and also a tier 10 guy. If you haven't seen the burn skeletons, sometimes these new. There's one right there. These are new. I'm a ghost, by the way. They can't see me. So burn skeletons. This is. I guess there's been some tough stuff going on here. Oh, hold on 1 second. I think bots are attacking.
Get in there, you stinking robot.
Prizing bot. What's up, prizing bot?
All right, prizing bot, give us the prize winners' names. I'm gonna get over here so you can see my face. All right.
Oh, no, like this.
Can you scooch just a little bit?
Oh,
okay.
My time.
All right. Wood duck and ornate umbrella is Isabella. Wait, isn't this the same people? Nope, I was wrong. Sorry, Isabella Vasquez. I have no short-term memory. So, okay, the ornate tile hot tub and ornate wooden hot tub. Dr. Mary, water goddess. What a coincidence. The fountain set goes to Sheldon Cooper. The longboat water decoration and ornate post and rope goes to Karina Nepar. The watermill village house goes to Star Grace. Don't clap until I've said the name, because they can't hear it. The Player-Owned Town Village water lot goes to Mia Sway. Now, robot, get out of here. Go back to your cage. Turn around. Get out of here, robot.
That was very exciting.
I mean, darn.
Oh, sugar. Fudge. All right, so we got also a little show in this fort, watching all the action happen. That was pretty cool. Thank you very much for treating us to this visible mayhem, Namarala. So anyway, there's a tier 10 burn skeleton that can sometimes appear in here. So these skeletons, the tier 4 area, these skeletons pretty much are tier 5. And there's a tier 10 skeleton that may appear sometimes in this area. So that's a little special something about the Hallowed Plains and its awesomeness. By the way, if you haven't seen Hallowed Plains, I'm just going to walk around a little bit and I'll talk about the next area we're going to go to. We're going to go to East Sanctus. Well, let's load up. That's how we teleport around as developers. Did I do it right? I did not. So let's go over here. So this scene we're about to go to is tier 6. We talked a few times about how we had established the 5 skull for tier 1 to 5. For a long time, the adventure scenes, the surface level adventure scenes would only go up to tier 5, and sometimes an area in the back was a higher tier. Often a nested area would be an even higher tier, such as like a dungeon or catacombs or caves. So if the surface of an area is tier 5, maybe the caves that connected to it might be like 6 or 8 or 10 or something like that. So that was the gist of it. But now we've realized with all these scenes and with all these adventure scenes that we have and all the skills that players have, we want to have more scenes that have higher than tier 5. So that's why we decided to start doing some normal outdoor surface scenes as tier 6 and 8 and so forth. Oops, did I typed that right? So small I can't see. And where am I? Oh. What is this? Oh, before this. Can you read Runic? No, that's not it. Where is this scene? I got it. Fudge, sugar. East Sanctus Forest, right? Is that what that says? West Sanctus. This is tier 4. Going the wrong way. Need to go east, people. Learn your compass directions. Don't be like me. So there's multiple skulls. It's a little hard to see right here. In the daylight, it'd be a little easier to see. One of the skulls is a little different. The tier... oh, maybe I got the wrong one. It says tier 3. My note was supposed to be for tier 6. Hey, you know what? Let's just go right to Alfheim. Big plans for Alfheim, by the way. So let's look at this tier 8 plus. So it's over tier 5 and also it's plus. Hard to see what the tier marker looks like, but we'll see the close-up one, and then you'll be able to look for the differences on Novia. By the way, these same tier markers are also in the Hidden Veil scenes as well. All right, so whoops. So here's the tier markers when you go over tier 5. You can see there's 5 skulls, no skulls on the ground. They're all moved up on the spike. But some of the skulls, let's skip this clip. Some skulls have scary looking spikes. So it's 5 skulls in total, so that's our base number. But we can see 1, 2, 3 spike skulls. So 5 plus 3, it's a tier 8. That's how you see that. And then we could see the little let's just change the time of day with secret commands. So we can see the banner up top right there. The little red flag, that means plus. So that's how you can tell something is tier 8 plus. So Alfheim actually got an overhaul, so that there's a section in the middle that has made it tier 8. And eventually, when we loop back around to it, I actually like to make it a more elaborate scene, like a multi-stage raid situation, because this is the home of the Northern Barbarians. Hello, Mr. Bouncy Pants, Madam Bouncy Pants. Ridiculous. That's crazy. All right, so we're almost done. I'll also mention that we don't put these tier marker, the spike in the skull situation, inside dungeons. And actually, we didn't put anything in any dungeons for a long time. But some people pointed out that some dungeons, we realize that some underground areas or some nested scenes don't have, are nested in a non-adventure scene. So when I say nested, I mean, imagine the Necropolis Barrens. That's a surface level adventure scene, and it connects to, and it's the only way to connect to, the Necropolis adventure scene. So you go through Necropolis Barrens to get to the Necropolis. And so Necropolis is nested within Necropolis Barrens. So often the scene that is nested is equal to or tougher than the scene you had to go through to get it. So if Necropolis Barrens is tier 5, then the Necropolis itself is tier 5 or tougher. So there didn't seem to be a need to put any skulls on spikes or any sort of symbolism in that. But then you can think about stuff where, so the Arteris has sewers, So Arteris is not tiered, but nested within it is the Arteris sewers. So how do you know how tough that is? Same thing, Brittany sewers. How do you know how tough that is? So in a few places, not every single one, in a few places, there's an alternate tier marker, which is it's a piece of paper that is a page from the helpful guide to adventure, and it sort of hints at the challenge level to give you some sort of warning as to what the scene is. Of course, Brittany Sewers is a little bit different because the further you go in, the tougher it is. And in general, I don't like to sort of mix and match tiers in a place, but I do like the concept of when you first go into a scene, that's the base level of challenge. And then either the deeper you go in or the deeper under you go, the more challenging it is. So if you want to stay safer, stay on the path, stay near the entrance. If you want it tougher, go further in. So in some underground dungeon scenes, catacombs, caves, look for a letter near the entrance, and that might give you a hint as to the tier of it. I'm getting close to the end. That's almost it. We have talked a little bit about episode 2. So episode 2, how tough are the bad guys in episode 2? We're still working out details for that. But we want to have some kind of tier marker equivalent for whatever these new guys who are either as equal or tougher than the typical guys you find in Novia or Hidden Vale. So we're still working on that. It probably won't be this at all. It'll be some new symbol that sort of works well in the new lands for episode 2. And that's pretty much it. That's all I got. I was gonna pad it up with other stuff, but I think we sort of covered everything that I wanted to cover. So I don't know. Do we need anyone else back here? Probably not. Wait for Serafina to run in here. Serafina. So I'm all done. Thank you, everyone.
I ran down the hall like this, because that's how I run now.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to the community live stream. Remember, things are on sale until midnight tonight, and we are still tracking towards our 57 stretch goals until midnight. Tune in next Friday at 3 p.m. For our 4-hour monthly live stream. I ran and I almost vomited. Okay, so sorry about that. Anyway, see you guys next week. Bye. Ring the bell.